A reported $13 billion play for Hugging Face could put one of open source AI's most important hubs even closer to the center of the chip wars. Welcome to the Automated Daily, Hacker News Edition, the podcast created by generative AI. I'm Trent Teller, and today is August 27th, 2026. Here's what matters in tech today. This episode is brought to you by 11 Labs. 11 Labs lets you discover the future of AI audio with cutting-edge voice technology. Find the link in the episode notes. We'll start with AI, where the biggest headline is Nvidia's reported interest in buying Hugging Face. The talks are said to value the company at more than $13 billion, although there is no deal yet and discussions could still collapse. That matters because Hugging Face is more than a startup name at this point. It is a key distribution point for models, datasets, and developer workflows across the open source AI world. If Nvidia were to own that layer as well as so much of the underlying GPU market, it would raise obvious questions about neutrality, influence, and how much of the AI stock ends up concentrated under a few companies. Staying with AI, G.ai has unveiled GLM 5.3 Flush, a new multimodal model built around a very different pitch, useful performance at much lower serving cost. The company says it improves on its earlier models in coding, agent-style tasks, and vision work, and it is also highlighting that the model ran at scale on Chinese-made AI chips. That is the bigger story here. In a market obsessed with frontier performance, this release is a reminder that efficiency, cost, and hardware flexibility may matter just as much as raw benchmark wins, especially for teams that actually have to deploy models in production. On the Linux side, Asahi Linux's latest progress report shows steady momentum on Apple Silicon support. The project says it has made major gains in power management and CPU idle behavior, while also improving support for practical hardware features on M3 systems, including webcams, microphones, USB, Thunderbolt, and displays. An official M3 release is now sounding close. The significance is simple. Every step forward makes modern Apple hardware less locked to macOS, and it keeps proving that Linux on these machines is moving from impressive experiment toward genuinely usable platform. There is also an interesting networking tool making the rounds. Tailcat, an open source project from Tailscale, takes the familiar idea of Netcat and gives it a secure, modern twist. Instead of requiring a full Tailscale account setup, it lets two machines create an encrypted connection with a lightweight token exchange and no admin privileges. Why that stands out is convenience. Secure ad hoc connectivity is usually either clunky or overbuilt, and tools like this can make encrypted links, quick file movement, remote access, and testing much easier for developers who just want something simple that works.
In open source licensing news, the Software Freedom Conservancy used FOSSI 2026 to spotlight what it describes as an ongoing AGPL violation involving Bamboo Labs' 3D printer software. The claim is that Bamboo's software stock mixes open source code with proprietary components in a way that sidesteps the spirit and the letter of copyleft obligations, especially when functionality is shifted onto servers. Beyond the company involved, this is notable because it brings a very practical example of software freedom enforcement into a hardware-heavy community that does not always see itself as part of the broader licensing debate. It is a reminder that open source is not just about access to code, it is also about the conditions under which that code is used and shared. And finally, outside the tech industry, but with clear implications for workers and employers, the Trump administration has paused immigrant visa processing while State Department staff are trained on new financial self-sufficiency guidance. Interviews that were already scheduled are being postponed, and the affected categories reportedly include family-based immigration and some employer-sponsored applicants. Even if the pause is temporary, it matters because immigrant visas are a direct path to permanent residency. Delays here can affect family reunification, healthcare staffing, and hiring plans in sectors that already depend on international labor. Thanks to our sponsor, Prezi. Prezi helps you create stunning AI-powered presentations in minutes. Find the link in the episode notes. That's the roundup for today. The biggest themes were concentration in AI, efficiency in model deployment, and the steady push for more open and portable computing across both software and hardware. Thanks for listening to the Automated Daily, Hacker News Edition. I'm Trent Teller. Links to all stories can be found in the episode notes.